Are you using Visual Studio Code? If you are, pay attention, because in this video I will show 10 keyboard shortcuts that I use every day. If we haven't met before, my name is Tuomo. I'm a web developer, and on this channel I upload videos and tutorials about modern web development. And if you are also new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you stay up to date on latest videos. I'm one of those programmers that loves keyboard. I hate using mouse, and I try to do everything without it and only use keyboard. And that's one of the reasons I decided to make this video, because I think using keyboard shortcuts really makes your life a lot easier as a developer. I'm using Mac whenever I'm programming, so I'll be showing the shortcuts as for Mac, but they also work on Windows. And I'll show also the Windows version on the screen. But let's get started. Shortcut number 1 is Command-Shift-F. And what it does, it searches the text from all the files in the project. This is very handy. I use it all the time, for example, when I need to search for a function name where that function is called or defined. I can easily find it with this keyboard shortcut. You might also think that since it's searching from all the files in the project that it would be slow, but it actually is super fast. Of course, if you have a bigger project, it will take longer time, but even then it's really fast. Shortcut number 2, Command W. And what this does is it closes a tab. So whichever tab you have active, it will close it and jump to the next one. And this is very handy because you don't have to take your hand off the keyboard and use the mouse to click the X on the tab. And the next shortcut is actually related to the previous one, because shortcut number 3 is Command-Shift-T. This shortcut, when used, will open the last closed tab. So for example, if you accidentally close a tab and you realize that you still need it, you can easily open it by using this shortcut, and you don't have to search it from the file explorer. This also works if you have closed, for example, tab number 1 and tab number 2, and then press this shortcut. It will first open the tab number 2, and then if you press it again, it will open the tab number 1. So you can reopen multiple tabs when used multiple times. Shortcut number 4 is Command P, and this can be used for quickly opening a file. When you use the shortcut, it will open up an input where you can type the file name that you want to open. I really like it that this search is not a strict search. So you don't really have to remember the exact name of the file you want to open. And you can still find it and open it this way. And if you want to jump into a specific part of the file, for example, say to a specific function, you can do that with this by adding an attractor at the end of the file name and typing in the function name where you want to jump in that file. I really love this feature because it enables me to quickly open a file, and I don't have to take my hands off the keyboard and find the file from the file explorer. And this is probably one of the most used shortcuts that I personally use. Shortcut number 5 is Command-Shift-P. It opens up a command palette which can be used for accessing all available commands in your current context. So for example, you can modify your Visual Studio Code settings or theme through the command palette. I really like command palette for modifying the Visual Studio Code settings, because oftentimes you so rarely use the settings page, so you don't remember in which section the setting you want to change is. And with command palette you can just type in the setting name and it will show it in the list below. Shortcut number 6 is Ctrl-Backspace, and it's used for deleting the previous word. This is not Visual Studio Code specific shortcut, and it works on other text and code editors too, so it's basically a text handling shortcut. So what it does is it deletes the previous word. So if you know you want to delete some part of the text, rather than pressing the backspace over and over again or keeping it pressed down, you can use Ctrl and backspace to delete one word at a time, so you can get the deleting done much faster. Shortcut number 7 is Ctrl plus arrow key left or arrow key right, depending on the situation. So what this shortcut does, it moves the cursor inside your editor one word or one part of text at a time. So this actually relates to the previous one where we deleted one word at a time. But if we use Ctrl with an arrow key, we can move the cursor inside our editor one word at a time. So it's very easy to quickly get your cursor in the right spot on the line you want to edit. And Visual Studio Code actually understands parts of the code, so it won't always move the cursor one word at a time, but rather move it to the place where you most likely want it to move based on the code at hand. Shortcut number 8 is Command plus any of the arrow keys depending on the situation. So if we use Command plus right arrow, it will move the cursor at the end of the line. With the left arrow, it will move the cursor at the beginning of the line. And if we use it with the up arrow or down arrow, it will move the cursor at the beginning of the file or at the end of the file. Shortcut number 9 is Alt plus up or down arrow. This shortcut will move the current line up or down depending on which arrow key was pressed. So if we use Alt plus up arrow, it will change places with the current row and the row above it. This shortcut is very handy because you don't have to copy paste a line in order to move it up or down in your code. And last one, shortcut number 10, is Command plus K, then Enter. So you first press Command plus K, then release the keys, and then press Enter. This is used for keeping the file open. And what I mean by this is, you know, when you click a file open from the File Explorer or use the Quick Open to open up a file, it opens up a new tab where that file is, but it's not permanently open, so to say. And if you don't make any modifications to the file and you open up a next file, it will actually close that file that was earlier open and then open up the new file to that tab. So with this shortcut, you can keep the file open even if you open up a new file and haven't done any modifications to that file you just opened. So basically, you can keep the file open without making any modifications to it. I use this a lot if I need to, for example, check something out from another file and I know I still need it, but then in the meanwhile I have to check another file, and both cases I don't want to make any modifications to them. I just want to see what they have inside of them, and with this shortcut I can easily keep the tabs open. Those were my 10 most used and favorite keyboard shortcuts for Visual Studio Code. I hope you learned something new out of this video, and if you did, please leave a like, and if you are not already, be sure to subscribe so you stay up to date on more videos like this one. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one.